Yeah, sure. Cool. So this is like our home screen of RecHound. So this is basically what we see when we log in, and it shows up with your reconciliation summary for your entity. So you've got your entity list here at the top, and you can sort of, from a user interface perspective, drop down, see all the companies that you're connected to, that sort of thing, add more, delete them, all that sort of stuff from there. And from
So
here,
for people just watching this, could you just give us a one sentence overview of what RecHound does before we jump
yeah,
into
yeah,
the
of course.
details?
So we are a balance sheet reconciliation tool. So we're basically helping bookkeepers and accountants manage and create their balance sheet reconciliation. So if you're using something like Excel, and you know the spreadsheets are not getting any easier to sort of manage and that sort of thing, or if you've got multiple entities and you want to keep everything in a similar sort of format, yeah, we created RecOut for people like that, I suppose. So
Thank you,
yeah,
Alex.
from your home screen, effectively, like what we're doing is showing your balance directly from zero and showing a supporting total, which you will input. So basically, this is how you'll see it initially when you first sync your company. And for the purpose of this demo, we'll look in like the month of July. This is our reconciliation summary, and these are all of our accounts, our balance sheet accounts. And it'll populate that automatically from zero every hour, and you can sync whenever you need to as well. So that all comes through effectively live, and you can go into any of these accounts and sort of create your support, either based on transactions or based on just a manual line that you want to put in. So as an example of that, if we jump into like a bank account, what you would do is see the ledger balance here, and you would add what we call manual support. And you click that button there where you would be able to type in your description and say a balance as at 31 July. And you would put the amount in there and add your attachment. So in this case, it would be like a screenshot to your bank account. And once you would do that, obviously the bank account screenshot should be tying to your ledger balance, and then you would hit OK, and now you've got a reconciled account. And what you can do, I don't have it on this demo, I don't think at this point, but you can submit it for review. So this locks it down, so it doesn't let you edit or change any of the fields. And the whoever the reviewer is able to then just go in and certify that rec, or they can reject it back to its original state. And one of the benefits, obviously, like when you're looking at cloud-based software like this, is because we're pulling in everything automatically from zero. If this balance were to change after the fact, you would see it immediately here, and the reconciliation would revert back to its preparation state. So, from a governance perspective, it's really important that this sort of stuff exists. If you're doing that in a spreadsheet, there's no way of sort of knowing or identifying that month that anything's changed within your system. So yeah, like our accountants love that for anyone sort of doing backdated journals or coming back in after month end and that sort of thing. And another feature we have on that is that we actually show you as well which period is locked or unlocked here on the left-hand side within zero. So you can see hopefully older periods are not unlocked, and you'll be able to see at a glance here. And so the second way that we can support transactions is actually through the sorry, support your account balances is actually through the transactions themselves. So if we look at let's have a look at an account here like superannuation payable, and this is an account that we could support manually like we did before, or we can actually click on the transaction listing and it will show you all of the transactions that have ever occurred through that account. So what you can do here in this example is firstly, you can actually clear transactions that net off to zero. So if we're looking at super paid, this is a spend money transaction for April. If we're looking at January super and we've got accruals and everything else like that, we can see that the total that I've selected here adds up to zero. And we can hit this reconcile button, and it looks like this is a future supporting item, not really relevant to us. Let me just jump into the future support. Looks like one sec. Here we go. I'll delete that and I'll jump back in. Sorry, I just had to jump around a little. So for the month of July, if we jump back into our transaction listing, I'm just going to unreconcile that and show you that again. So if we click all of this, all of these amounts that add up to zero, hopefully now it will work. So yes, so that now clears the balance. The reason it didn't clear it just before is because I actually used those transactions to support a future balance. So it takes into account whether you're actually using them or whether you've reconciled them in the past and that sort of thing too. But if you're doing it month to month, anything that nets off to zero, hit the reconcile button and it'll clear from your account. You can bring those back like I just did before by pressing that unreconcile button as well. And then basically what we're left with here are all of our transactions that make up our balance at the end of the month. So if we're saying superannuation payable at the end of the month is 12.3K, we hit that create support button now once we've selected those transactions and we say to be cleared on next payment. Obviously, you can get more detailed with this, but now we've got a well-reconciled superannuation payable account with a good supporting description in there, along with the transactions that make up that balance. So you can break that down further into like March, April, May, June, those sort of things, and have it broken down however you'd like to. But for the purpose of this, that's sort of how you can input transactional support, we call it. Yeah, so basically, like for bookkeepers, this is a real game changer in terms of how quickly you can generate recs. You don't need to dump your data in from zero into Excel and then clear it manually and all that sort of stuff. So we've found that you can actually do reconciliations about 3 times quicker within RecHound. And not only that, you're only going to see relevant transactions in those sorts of clearing account examples. One more quick example that I'll just take you through as well is prepayments. So prepayments is an account which tends to have a lot of support and a lot of like nitty gritty around it as well. So if we look in the previous month, if I look in June, you can see our prepayments is fully supported here.
Yeah.
And this is what a regular prepayments account would look like. What we can do in the month of July is say, well, we've still got this balance. We don't have any support yet. We can hit the import previous support button and import it. And that will import those transactions directly from last month. And now what happens in our transaction listing is we click on that and it only shows the transactions that aren't in our support. So these are the ones that we need to deal with this month. So you can see they're all July transactions. And what we can do here is add to our existing support. So Artisan Baker, for example, Artisan Baker, and then go back and do Harmony Spa. And then we can do Digital Dreams. And last one we can do is Future Forward Tech. So now we've got a fully updated prepayment schedule. Not only that, but it shows our transactions that net off to the original invoice for Digital Dreams. And this is expense number 1, expense number 2, number 3, all that sort of stuff. And the same for all of our other prepaid supporting items. So we're actually in development now of a full prepayment scheduling tool where you'll be able to declare the amortization and the invoice values and all of that sort of stuff, which will make this even easier for bookkeepers to create the tool, have the transactions get posted, and then you won't need a spreadsheet to sort of calculate or check any of the stuff that you're doing. It'll all be available in RecHound as well.
So are you finding the primary audience is bookkeepers and I'm gonna guess accountants who like tidy accounts?
Yeah. So like small, medium businesses, internal finance teams actually make up the majority of our customers at the moment and our users. But I guess from a user perspective, we have a number of accounting firms and virtual CFOs who are providing like management accounts and obviously need to be doing that sort of bookkeeping role for large numbers of clients within RecHound as well. So we see lots of like all sorts from accountants and bookkeepers using us because accountants love us by the fact that you can see everything in a governed and consistent space in that you've got reviewed and certified reconciliations that are locked down and they look the same every month. And it's easy to see that data that a bookkeeper has been working on in the past. And then our bookkeepers give us the best feedback because they're the ones using this tool every day. And you can come in and do your reconciliations and actually effectively do your month end during the month, as opposed to even needing to start on day one, because you can clear off transactions that net to zero. A lot of the times that'll happen before month end anyway. So you can do for a bookkeeper, you can do most of your month end prep by the 20th. You can do a
Yeah.
pre-month end and it'll have 99% of your stuff done. So yeah, we get really great feedback from both, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent.
Mm. And then, kind of lastly, we've got our intercompany feature, which we've just launched. So this is where you can do the exact same clearing, but across intercompany accounts. So if you've got two entities with a corresponding loan account, what we can look at is, firstly, you can set it up in about a minute in RecHound, say company A, company B, here are our matching accounts. And then once you've done that, you can see this intercompany group pops up in this intercompany tab. And from here, you can see your transactions just like we did before, except we're across two companies. And based on that, if everything ties back to zero, you can again reconcile just like we did. So for intercompany analysts or bookkeepers dealing with sort of larger intercompany clients, keeping that in a spreadsheet is just an absolute headache. If you're backdating transactions or doing anything, you reconcile into Excel at a point in time, it's really tricky. So yeah, doing it all in one space, and this also has really great error checking as well. So like if something then gets changed or edited or deleted, a big red line will come up here and it'll say, hey, something that you reconciled has actually changed. And you can no longer like this, you now need to delete that reconciliation
Yeah.
and redo it because something has been voided or edited at some point.
Excellent. Excellent. Oh, it gives them confidence in the figures and what's happening with the figures.
That's it, and how up to date everything is effectively. And then at the end of the day, like that's what we're all about, is just about that sort of governance and confidence that what you're looking at is current and it is accurate and it is reported effectively.
Yeah.
And I guess the last thing that I'll just quickly take you through is the dashboard as well. So this is a dashboard where it'll show you all of the companies that are connected, how much of your company has been reconciled. So you can see we've done 17% of RecHound in
Hmm.
April and 1 out of 9 for the UK in the month of April 25.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
any current entities will show up here and it'll just give you at a snapshot. If you're an accounting firm or if you've just got a large number of companies that you need